We reduced our increase in IATs by 92%, and this is how we did it. What's up, everybody? It's Ryan here at ARM Motorsports, and today we're going to be putting on the 7-inch front mount intercooler on our 135. Reason that we want to do this is the stock intercooler system is pretty whack, and this one is going to bring us up to the IATs that we're looking for so we can keep our heat soak kind of down on the track. So stick with us here and we'll show you how to install it. Just to show you how whack the OEM Fmic is, here's a comparison of the ARM versus the OEM Fmic. We're going to start by going over two third gear pulls, one with the OEM and one with the ARM 7-inch. We'll be starting with the OEM. Here you can see it started at 68 degrees and climbed to 84 degrees by the end of the pull. Next, the ARM Fmic, the IAT started at 72 degrees and dropped to 66 degrees by the end of that pull. You can clearly see a massive increase in IATs on the OEM Fmic versus the decrease in IATs with the ARM 7-inch. We will look at the third gear pull through fourth gear pulls. We will start with the OEM. The IAT started at 72 in the beginning of third and climbed to 102 degrees by the end of the fourth gear. Compared to the ARM 7-inch front mount intercooler, we started the third gear pull at 72 degrees and ended at the top of fourth gear at 72 degrees. The IAT stayed the same throughout the entire third to fourth gear pulls. Step one of this install is removing the plastic under trays. I know it's everyone's favorite. We're going to start back here with an 8mm socket. I'll go ahead and take these out. Okay, here we go. And once you get that under tray off, you'll expose the underside of the engine. Then you're going to look up here on the intercooler. There's going to be this black plastic covering here. What you can do with these two clips is you're going to go ahead and pull down to get that depression out of there. Then you can kind of spin that one and go over here and get this one down. And this whole unit will actually still stay in place. Psych! Alright, let me just kind of take the rest of that out of there. This is a good time to remind you to wear eyeglasses. Thank you for dining at Joe's Crab Shack. Okay, so we're going to start off with removing these two T25 screws. And do make sure that you're holding up the intercooler, as these are going to be the last things holding it in place. Alright, and then the next step, you'll remove the C-clips on both sides of the charge pipes here. Use a pick tool like this, just kind of pull them down. They unlock. They do clip in kind of weird at the top there, so you got to make sure that you do pull those up, both out. Since we are using a transmission jack here just to kind of hold up the intercooler, since we do have the luxury of having a lift. You wouldn't have to really do this if you're doing this on the ground, but when you are on the ground, just be cognizant of that this will drop down once you take this last clip off. You don't want to be laying underneath that and have the intercooler drop down on your face. It's not really fun. That's one way to do it. We got the OEM intercooler out of the car. You can kind of see the size of it. It's pretty small. It's got the plastic outside, which the BMW charge pipes and cooling system is notorious for cracking under pressure. After a long time, the plastic is heated and cooled so many cycles that it makes it weak. So there's the OEM intercooler. And here we have the 7-inch ARM front mount intercooler in our trophy gold, and then we did use our stencil on the front in graphite. There you go. all metal, dense fin pack, extra cool intake air temperatures.
Wow.
And now up in the engine bay, you're gonna go ahead and remove what we've got, our ARM charge pipe on here. The 2 clamps with a 10mm socket. It's a struggle, but it's worth it. So at this point, you just take a Dremel and make an incision right across. All right, and at this point, you get the boot off of there. You can go ahead and pull this off of here. And then you can kind of situate this plastic portion of the charge pipe here so that you can easily access it and pull it down through the bottom. There we go. And yes, some parts might break off of here. This is, like we said earlier, very brittle. But yeah, there's going to be your S pipe. And then we'll go ahead and show you the hose upgrade that we're going to install in lieu of this. So at this point, you do want to use your safety eyewear. And then what you're going to do is take a Dremel tool here and go ahead and get in there and remove this one-time clamp that is around that portion of the turbo outlet side. Alright, so now at this point you got that one-time clamp cut. You can remove that there, and then we'll be replacing that with the ARM hose upgrade kit, which will just go kinda like that. And then you can go ahead and put one of our clamps that we keep in the kit on this end up to the turbo outlet pipe, and then this end is going to go into around the intercooler. Now at this portion we are going to have to do the trim guide, which you can find on our installations page for the 7-inch. And what we're going to do here is we're going to cut right here and up here on both sides so that this portion can be removed. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. So at this point, you can put in the N54 front mount intercooler hardware. And usually what you can do is take 2 nuts and put them onto the bolt here. Just go ahead and alright, and then we're going to install these again right here in the spot, which is where the T25 screws were. Just go ahead and do this side again. Putting in the hose upgrade on the turbo outlet side, and you're just going to kind of slip that over the plastic piping that's up in there, and then make sure that you do have the T-clamp on there as well prior to putting that on. And then you can just slip that over and tighten that down at a later time. Now we're going to take the S-pipe section of our hose upgrade and go ahead and snake this down in there. So now we have the S-pipe on. We're going to go ahead and tighten up the clamp on the very top here. And we're going to go ahead and tighten down the clamp on the turbo outlet side. Now that we've got the clamps on the turbo outlet and the top side of the S-pipe, we're going to go ahead and put in the intercooler. Alright, here we go. Alright, so at this point we've got everything in place. We've got the intercooler being supported by the transmission hoist, and we're going to go ahead and tighten down these. Okay, then we can tighten down the clamp on this side. So as you can see, we've got the front mount in, and we've got everything tightened down, ready to go. And at this point, what we're gonna do is lift the car back up and reinstall the rain trays on the bottom. And then from there, you're good to go. Yeah, I'd like a Big Mac with fries and a strawberry. Oh, hey guys, sorry I didn't see you there. Thanks for watching the front mount install for our race car 135. Go ahead and check us out and keep an eye on our track build. Thanks so much, guys.